totally different because we have the rule is broken here. How is it broken? We have a noun, fun and energy. Normally, we usually are supposed to use such, but because we have much and little, they are quantifiers, we just use so. We're going to use so. So children had so much fun. I feel like I have so little energy, not such little energy. All right? I hope this is clear. Look at these rules here. I'll give you 1 second to meditate on the rules. All right, so the rules we have, it was such a beautiful film that we spent 3 hours watching it. What is this? We have cause and we have effect. And such that. Such because you have beautiful film. Okay, so a beautiful film means is a noun phrase in which we have a noun, film, and beautiful is an adjective, and a is an article. Such plus noun phrase. The film was so suspenseful that we spent 3 hours watching it. Now we have so because suspenseful is just an adjective. It's not a noun phrase, okay? Just an adjective that we spent 3 hours watching it. So plus adjective or adverb, even adverb, we can use so, okay? We got such interesting information that we could be more motivated to investigate. Such plus interesting plus information. Information is a noun, interesting is an adjective. Such wonderful stars make you meditate. We can always start with such, using such, but we don't have that here. Such wonderful stars make you meditate, which just means wonderful stars like these. Wonderful stars like these, and we turn the sentence, we say this in this word or in this rewording. Say, such wonderful stars make you meditate. Such plus uncountable noun, such plus plural noun in these cases here. Okay, next one. So we move to the next slide. Okay, such that and so that. Just another example or another exercise about the same connectives. So we took a walk. It was a nice day. It was such a nice day that we took a walk. Now you have to combine the two sentences, the two cause and effect. You have to use a combination thing, but by using such that or so that. The other one was the weather was hot. You could fry an egg on the sidewalk. I couldn't understand her. She talked too fast. So how can we use now such that or so that here in these examples? So look at example number 1 again. We took a walk. It was a nice day. It was such a nice day that we took a walk. Now the weather was hot. You could fry an egg on the sidewalk. Very simply, we are going to use to say the weather was so hot that you could fry an egg on the sidewalk. Okay? The weather was so hot that you could fry an egg on the sidewalk. I couldn't understand her. She talked too fast. How can we combine this one? Okay? So she talked so fast that I couldn't understand her. She talked so fast that I couldn't understand her. Look, pay attention here. What did we change? We changed to. Okay? The adverb to with the adjective or the adverb so. Okay? She talked too fast. We cannot say she talked so too fast. No, she talked too fast. So whenever we have to with double O, okay, which is an adverb, we change it with so to combine cause and effect. So she talked so fast that I couldn't understand her. Great. Now, it was an expensive car. We couldn't afford to buy it. What do we have here? An expensive car. An expensive car, which means that we have car is a noun. Expensive is an adjective. We have a noun. We are going to use such. So it was such an expensive car that we couldn't afford to buy it. It was such an expensive car that we couldn't afford to buy it. Okay? I don't feel like going to class. We're having beautiful weather. I don't feel like going to class. We're having beautiful weather. So we're going to start here by the cause and say, we're having such beautiful weather that I don't feel like going to class. We are having such a beautiful weather that I don't feel like going to class. Okay? 6. Grandpa held me tightly when he hugged me. I couldn't breathe for a moment. He's lucky, this boy. Grandpa held me tightly when he hugged me. I couldn't breathe for a moment. So what should we use here? How can we combine these two sentences or two clauses by using such that or so that? Okay? So let's say, Grandpa held me so tightly when he hugged me that I couldn't breathe for a moment. Okay? Grandpa held me so tightly when he hugged me that I couldn't breathe for a moment. Okay? So what do we have here? We have tightly is an adverb, not an adjective. And if you remember, we have so plus adjective or so plus adverb. Okay? So 7. There were a few people at the meeting. It was cancelled. There were few people at the meeting. It was cancelled. So what should we do here? We have people, and people is a noun. It's not a verb. Normally we should use such, right? But just a request. Would you please switch off your phones and just try to be in a quiet place? In a calm place. I can hear some radio waves going on somewhere, in some place in the middle of nowhere, of Azra or whatever. I don't know exactly. Could you please just switch off all your devices, okay, and just listen to me, please. All right, and even mute. I want you to mute your microphones, okay? Right. So there were a few people at the meeting. What do we have here? We have people is a noun, but remember, we have few. It's a quantifier. It's a quantifier. So even if we have a noun here, we have a quantifier here. So we're not going to use such. We are going to use so. There were so few people at the meeting that it was canceled. Why was it canceled? Because there were only few people. Okay, so there were so few people at the meeting that it was canceled. The classroom, okay, my internet again. Give me 1 second. The classroom has comfortable chairs. The students find it easy to fall asleep. Okay, what do we have here? We have comfortable chairs. Chairs is a noun. Comfortable is an adjective. It's a noun phrase. We use such. The classroom has such comfortable chairs. So it's not so comfortable chairs, such comfortable chairs that the students find it easy to fall asleep. Okay? The classroom has such comfortable chairs that the students find it easy to fall asleep. Ted couldn't get to sleep last night. He was worried about the exam. Ted couldn't get to sleep last night. He was worried about the exam. So why couldn't he get to sleep last night? Because he was worried about the exam. Okay, so we are going to say Ted. Imagine again, remember, we studied this last time in the class, okay, that we cannot always start with a pronoun. We need to change it with its noun, the noun that refers to, which is here Ted. Ted was so worried about the exams that he couldn't get to sleep last night. Okay, Ted was so worried about the exam that he couldn't get to sleep last night. Jerry got angry. He put his fist through the wall. Jed got angry. He put his fist through the wall. So Jet got so angry. This angry is an adjective. Because of an adjective, we're going to use so that. Jerry got angry, got so angry that he put his fist through the wall. I have many problems. I can use all the help you can give me. So I have many problems is the cause. But we have many problems. Again, problems is a noun. Or normally or usually we use such, right? But we have many. Don't forget, we have a quantifier. Many, much, little, few. Be careful. All right? What we use is so, not such anymore. I have so many problems. So we cannot say here, I have such many problems. I have so many problems that I can use all the help you can give me. I have so many problems that I can use all the help you can give me. The tornado struck with great force. It lifted automobiles off the ground. Tornado struck with great force. It lifted automobiles off the ground. What is the cause? The cause is this one. Tornado struck with great force. Okay, with great force. So force is a noun, and great is an adjective. With is a preposition. We have, what do we have here? We have phrase, a noun phrase, not an adjective. So the tornado struck with such great force, that it lifted automobiles off the ground. Okay, tornado struck with such great force that it lifted automobiles off the ground. I can't figure out what this sentence says. His handwriting is illegible. Okay, so what is the cause? His handwriting is illegible. Illegible is an adjective. Very simply, an adjective we use so. His handwriting is so illegible that I can't figure out what his sentence says. His handwriting is so illegible that I can't figure out what this sentence says. Excuse me. David has too many girlfriends. He can't remember all their names. Well, I remember this David last year. He must be Moroccan David. David has too many girlfriends. He can't remember all of their names. That's crazy. Okay. So what do we have here? We have girlfriends is a noun phrase. The many girlfriends, a noun phrase. Girlfriends is a noun. Normally we should use such. But what do we have again? Remember, we have many. Okay. And we have two. We're going to change it with so. David has so many girlfriends that he can remember all of their names. Okay. David has so many girlfriends that he can't remember all of their names. Too many people came to the meeting. They were not enough. There were not enough seats for everyone. Too many people came to the meeting. There were not enough seats for everyone. So many people came to the meeting that there were not enough seats for everyone. So many people came to the meeting that. So what we do here is just drop the full stop, change it with that, remove the capital here, there, okay? And then you combine the two sentences. However, we need to change this to with so, okay? So many people came to the meeting that there were not enough seats for everyone. I hope it's clear. All right, so far so good, guys? I don't know. Yes, no?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. So I need you to relieve me sometimes by saying yes, because I can't hear everybody. I actually can hear only some of you, and some were saying that they can't hear. Okay, good. Excuse me, I'm just having a look at your chat, okay? Chat box. Too much noise, sir. Yeah, that's why I asked you, please, if you could mute your microphones, okay? And somebody said, what a beautiful moment when you cook your breakfast and study at the same time. Ha, ha, ha. That's great. So you're cooking and studying. It's really great. Yeah, sure. Good. Yes. Oh, very nice. Good. All that. Excellent. Very good. Excellent. So some of you are cooking. Really great. All right. Great. So I just had a look at your chat box so that I can see your comments. That's all. Thank you. Thank you for leaving the comments. All right. So that's it about so, that, and such that. Now we move to the second slide, or the next slide. So we have so that. You remember so that of purpose, in order to, and so as to. So in order to, so as to, so that are expressions of purpose. So this so that here is totally different from so dots that. So plus adjective and then that. Okay. So what do we have here is, let's do the exercise again. Combine the ideas using so that. Rachel wanted to watch the news. She turned on the TV. Rachel turned on the TV so that she could watch the news. You remember, of course, that whenever we use so that, we have to use a modal verb. That's why we have a modal verb here. Okay? So Rachel turned on the TV so that she could, okay, watch the news. Now, Alex wrote down the time and date of his appointment. He didn't want to forget to go. Alex wrote down the time and date of his appointment so that he wouldn't, again, modal verb, he wouldn't forget to go, okay? Now, Nancy is carrying extra courses every semester. She wants to graduate early. What can we use here to combine these two sentences? Nancy is carrying extra courses every semester. So that, or in order to, or so as to. Nancy is carrying extra courses every semester. Very simply, just remove she wants and keep to graduate early. So as to graduate early, in order to graduate early, okay? However, you have to be careful, no full stop. Whenever we have link in Word, of course, we don't have full stop here, okay? Nancy is carrying extra courses every semester in order to graduate early, or so as to graduate early. Jason wants to travel in Europe. He's tired of work and school and is planning to take semester off. Okay, so what is the cause and what is the purpose? Sorry, the purpose is Jason wants to travel in Europe. Okay, he is tired of work and school and is planning to take semester off. So Jason is tired of work and school and is planning to take a semester off so that he can travel, or so as to travel in Europe, or be in order to travel to Europe or in Europe. Okay, that's how we do this sentence here. Susan didn't want to disturb her roommates. We have a negation here. All right, this is good that we have different examples, different samples. Susan didn't want to disturb her roommate. She lowered the volume on the TV set. Okay, so why did she lower the volume on the TV set? Because she didn't want to disturb her roommate. Okay, so Susan lowered the volume on the TV set so as not to, or in order not to, okay, disturb her roommate. I'll tell you later why, what's the difference between in order to, so as to, and sometimes so that, okay? So Susan didn't want to disturb her roommate. Very simply, we say Susan lowered the volume on the TV set so as not to disturb her roommate, or so in order not to disturb her roommate, all right? Whenever we are planning a vacation, we call a travel agent. We are able to get expert advice on our itinerary. Whenever we are planning a vacation, we call a travel agent. We are able to get expert advice on our itinerary. Why do we call a travel agent whenever we are planning a vacation? Because we want to, that's purpose. So why? Because we want to be able to get expert advice on our itinerary. Okay, so we're going to say here, whenever we are planning a vacation, we call a travel agent in order to get, so as to get expert advice on our itinerary, or so that we would be able to get expert advice on our itinerary. Itinerary means your travel circulation program or schedule. Okay, so we call a travel agent so that we would be able to get uh, expert advice on our itinerary. You can say that. Or we call travel agents to be able to get expert advice, or just to get expert advice on our itinerary. It's good idea. It's a good idea for you to learn how to type. You'll be able to type your own papers when you go to the university. It's a good idea for you to learn how to type, so as to type in order to type your own papers, okay? Or so that you can type your papers when you go to the university, okay? Lynn wanted to make, actually this exercise is so simple because you studied in high school, I remember. You studied expressions of purpose, how you combine two sentences by using in order to, so as to, and so that. And what you have to bear in mind here is just that so that is followed by a modal verb. That's very simple, I guess. Okay. Okay, so we stopped at Lynn. Lynn wanted to make sure that she didn't forget to take her book back to the library. She tied a string around her finger. It's a good way to remember. She tied a string around her finger. So who's this? Lynn. Lynn tied a string around her finger so that she would remember, all right, so as not to forget. So like the sentence is too long and a little bit complicated, all right? She tied a string around her finger so as not to forget to take her book back to the library, in order not to forget to take her book back to the library, or so that she would not forget to take her book back to the library. I hope it's clear. Ed took some change from his pocket. He wanted to buy a newspaper. Ed took some change from his pocket. He wanted to buy a newspaper. So Ed took some change from his pocket so as to buy a newspaper, in order to buy a newspaper, or so that he could buy a newspaper, very simply. Ed took some change from his pocket so that he could buy a newspaper, okay? I wanted to listen to the news while I was making dinner. Well, this is what you're doing, guys, right now. You're listening to me and you're making your own breakfasts. That's pretty great. I wanted to listen to the news while I was making dinner. I turned on TV. So why did you turn on TV? I turned on TV so as to listen to the news, in order to listen to the news, or so that I could listen to the news while I was making dinner, very simply. All right? I unplugged the phone. I didn't want to be interrupted while I was working. I unplugged the phone so as not to, in order not to be interrupted while I was talking, or so that I would not be interrupted while I was talking. So I think all of the examples are clear, all right? Yesterday, Linda was driving on the highway when her car started making strange noises. Okay, this is a long sentence. After she pulled over to the side of the road, she raised the hood of her car in order to make sure that she drives a new. We have in order here to make sure that she drives. The other drivers knew that she had car trouble. It's a long sentence. Linda was driving. Yesterday was on the highway when her car started making strange noises. So after she pulled over to the side of the road, she raised the hood of her car in order to make sure that other drivers knew that she had car trouble. So we already have in order to here in this sentence here, okay? So we're gonna check more things. I just wanted to explain something to you. How can I explain this? So let me go to the whiteboard again. Give me 1 second. My connection is unstable. Okay. Pause share. New share. What? Whiteboard. Okay. Can you see my screen here? Can you guys see my screen? I would like you to look at this sentence here. So I studied so hard. I wanted to make my parents happy. Great. Can you see this? All right. So
Yes, yes,
all right. So
it's clear.
I wanted to make my parents happy. This is the purpose. So imagine we have, I studied so hard in order to make my parents happy. That's clear. Good.
Yeah.
But then because sometimes we have two subjects here, two subjects. We have I, the subject. I studied so hard. But what I want in my next sentence here is the subject, my parents, not me, not myself. In this way, we only have the option of so that, because I want to use the other subject, my parents. Okay? Because this one is I studied so hard. I want you to look at this again. I studied so hard in order to make my parents happy. Is I studied so hard. I made my parents happy, which means I, subject here, right? So on this one. However, if you want to use another subject which is different from the first subject, now what do we have here? The first subject is I, okay? The second subject is my parents. We can only use so that.